So Zach, I love the film, and this was one of the few movies I saw this year that really had like this ground buzz and a spread of word of mouth. So obviously, any success is exciting, but how special is it knowing people were, telling their friends, "Hey, you got to see this. Go in blind, and just enjoy the ride."
The best. I mean, it's like I'm pinching myself. It's like you try and really keep your expectations as tempered as possible when you're making these movies because it's so out of your hands. Like we thought this was going to be a movie that was going to go straight to VOD somewhere, and the best case scenario for me was like I hope that somebody likes it enough to take a runner on me to make another movie one day. That's all. That's the only metric of success I could imagine. And then for it to have this like wide theatrical release and for people to like it and critics like it and the word of mouth, it didn't have a huge press campaign. I like the press campaign, but it was small scale. But for people to really take ownership of it and kind of proselytize to their friends about it is like I just I'm over the moon. What else could I say? It's a dream come true.
Yeah, it's incredible. And Matthew, you both have roots in sketch comedy. So I was curious if you had met before, or how did you come on to this project?
We actually we hadn't met before. I came on because well, I have like a comedy manager that I signed with when I was doing a one-man musical at the Upright Citizens Brigade, and we like signed because of that. But also he represents Doug Jones, who is like, like one of the finest creature actors. And I was like, hey, by the way, I know who that is and would like to do that also. And so this has been one of a series of things where I'll be on a short list, a weird short list, because people will come for Doug and he'll be very busy and unavailable. And then my manager will be like, I have a different tall, skinny physical actor. So that's how we first got on a Zoom together.
That's awesome. And Zach, I wanted to talk about the press campaign, because what I thought was really powerful about the film was that the trailers didn't reveal everything. There's this trend of just showing everything in a lot of movies. So did you have any involvement there, or how satisfying was it that the studio believed in the twists and, kept it out of the marketing?
That was the best. I mean, there was never an argument, it was always, from the first conversation about the trailer, it was important to them, just like it was for me, to protect the movie and to protect the experience of seeing it for the first time. And so, we all recognize that the hurdle of cutting a trailer was going to be, you can really only cherry pick from like the first half hour, and the first half hour is not action packed. You know what I mean? So it's the delicate balance of like showing compelling images to get butts and seats, but like protecting the experience that those butts will have once they're in those seats. You want happy butts. And so, but they did a great job. I mean, they were very solicitous of my input, but at the end of the day, like they are so expert at what they do that they cut that trailer without me, because the trailer I was working on was a piece of shit. And then they saved me from myself by making a good trailer. And I was just like, thank you, put that one out, thank you, good. And so that's what we have.
I want to see that shit trailer. I want to see it.
Like it's not good. It's mostly it's a zoom in of my over the shoulder in the bar, that's me and talking to Justin. So it's mostly that and kind of cropping Justin out and just kind of like me talking. But people didn't get what the movie was about. People were like, why is it just on this guy? Why doesn't it show his face? And
in a world where a man is at a bar.
Yeah. And also that scene is only, like 25 seconds, but the trailer has to be like a minute and a half. So I had to reuse a lot of my lines and stuff. So it was a weird one. I liked it, but no one else liked it.
That's really interesting. Matthew, I love your movement in the film. So I was curious if you worked with a movement coach, or was that you two collaborating? How did you decide on how Mother was going to move?
I wish I worked with a movement coach. That would have been great.
The movie would have been better.
But no, it was just me on my own, like going to the gym and like crawling around and like just trying to get into feral mode. And then also like you know, Zach and I went, when I got to Bulgaria, we went into a weird conference room at the Hyatt and, you know, crawled around a little bit.
That was
and
so fun. I have really fun memories. We're at this conference room in the middle of the day, and we're like moving through along the walls and like, blah, blah. That was really a blast.
Yeah.
And Matthew transformed himself. I mean, just in the time you were there, you didn't eat a carb like that whole time. I mean, the dude just was like really tightened up, and yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I just basically, like, as a naturally tall, skinny person, in my life, I'd just been working against my metabolism. So I just stopped doing that and went to the gym and got into that feral strength mode.
Was awesome.
Well, what you did clearly worked. Your performance is great in the film. And Zach, we've been seeing this interesting trend, you know, yourself, Jordan Peele. We're seeing these people with comedy backgrounds that are really excelling in horror. What do you think about comedy? Maybe it's the timing and that lends itself to it. And maybe I'm just trying to find a correlation where it's not there, but what do you think leads to that success?
No, I think you're right. I think it's about, you know, the muscle group that I worked out for so long in comedy is almost the exact same muscle group that you need in horror. It's about building a visceral response through tone and timing, you know, and that's all it is. And so, you know, a scare is not so dissimilar from a laugh. I also think that, like, the comedic mind, now I sound like a real asshole, but fuck it, I've already said it. But I think that the comedic mind is always looking for the edgiest, like, surprise. You know what I mean? And that is all you can ask for when you're watching a horror movie, is like something that's going to push a boundary and surprise you in a way that you know weren't expecting. They're both about zigging when people expect you to zag. So it's definitely I think, yeah, that's it. I'll stop there.
Matthew, one of the things I really love about the film is Mother becomes, you know, very sympathetic throughout. And, you know, Justin Long's character is just such an asshole. You're rooting for Mother to kill him. So how was it, you know, going through the script and realizing, you know, how sympathetic your character was, and it's not just, you know, a monster for, you know, just the sake of a monster?
Yeah, it was fun to play with those two sides of her. And I was so grateful for Zach just like teeing that up for me and creating that. Because he told me to go down a dark rabbit hole of Googling feral children, like real people that have been raised in captivity. And that gave me empathy for the character immediately. And I was so, as an actor, very grateful for that, and as a human was very sad about these sad videos I was watching. But yeah, I was so grateful that it was not just someone going rawr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's a testimony to your ability as an actor. I mean, you're not just playing a monster, you're playing a person, you know. And I think that, you know, if when Tess finally shoots the mother at the end of the movie, if the audience was like, yeah, monster, you know, then it would have been a failure, right? But I think that, you know, you brought a real life to that character, and I'm just really glad that transferred, or what am I trying to say? Anyway, that was never up for debate, you know. Clearly from the first test screening on, it's like everybody got that the mother was like a victim of this situation, and that the real monster is, like, you know, Frank and AJ. And that was such a win, you know.
Yeah, wonderful job on that. And then, Zach, my last question. I know you mentioned that you were working on another horror feature, but we're having difficulty kind of lining up the beginning with the ending.
Yeah.
Obviously, Barbarian promotion's been crazy, but have you had any progress there? How's it going?
Oh, thank you for asking. I'm staying now at a friend's house on the East Coast, and like a secluded cabin, and I'm writing it. And it's coming along. I'm not there yet, but I'm way more progress than that last, where I don't know where you heard me say that, but it's every day is getting better and better. So yes, I'm feeling very positive.
Great. People will be so excited to see what you do next. And
Thanks.
Congrats to you both on this film. It's really great. And thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.